Hey, welcome back. My name is Jay Oza. I teach, mentor, and coach people on public speaking so that they can give winning high stakes speeches, whether it's for a job interview, a business or sales meeting, or even at a conference. Today, I have a thought of the day, and this is targeted towards essentially everybody, but primarily uh, people who are graduating from college or even graduate school. So, here's the thing, we get a diploma after we finish high school. Then we get a diploma after we finish college. And then we get another diploma when we finish graduate school. Great. The diploma validates accomplishment or achievement. But then the question is, what do you do after that? What is the diploma that you get after that? What kind of diploma can you show? And I think this is something I wish somebody had told me. And I guess maybe it was so obvious that nobody bothered to tell me right after I graduated that you have to get a diploma every 4 years. So the question is, what is that diploma? That diploma has to be something that you have created. So let's say a book. You start, let's say after college, 4 years, you got a diploma and you start work. That work has to be viewed as a 4 year term, just like college, because you're used to it, right? You just did 4 years of high school where you got a diploma, and because of how well you did, you got into college. Because of how well you did, you got a diploma and you got a job now. So you're used to that. This is not something that people are not used to, and it is something that I'm now adopting. So you can say that I'm now kind of going to school again. Instead of going to regular school, I'm doing own schooling, not homeschooling, but own schooling. I have to do my own schooling. And at the end of that, I will give myself a diploma. And that diploma will be a book that I write. And in the way I kind of did that when it comes to public speaking. But anyway, enough about me. Let me just talk about you here. So let's say you just graduated, whether it's college, and you got a degree in computer science. What do? You're going to get a job. Well, that's not going to be enough. You will have nothing to show for it after 4 years. The experience you have is fine, but people don't know much about what that really even means. People have all kinds of experience. They want to know what your potential is. People hire you on your potential. And one of the best way to show your potential is if you somehow uh, integrate everything you've learned and put it in a book form, kind of curate it. So you work for 3 years, let's say, and your fourth year you should say, okay, now I got that experience. And while you're working on it, you start constantly writing. And after 3 years, the fourth year should be, now I got to put it all together and get a book out at the end of the year. And that's your diploma. That is something you go for an interview and say, hey, what did you do? You don't say, I got my job and I started working. Say, look, I did all that work, but then I also brought a lot of my own insight and I put it in a book form, and that's what I can bank on. And that's your diploma. And that means that, let's say, in 20 years, if you do it that way, you should have 5 diplomas, 5 books that you can say that this is what I've done based on my experience. Otherwise, what have you really learned? You just done work. And the reason I mention this is companies today and the future are not going to be that interested in the work that you're doing for any companies. They want to know what your future potential is. What can you do for them? And a book gives you that instant credibility that saying that, oh, well, I worked on this, I worked on this team and that team. That's kind of hard to gather unless they know you really well and they've worked with you in the past. But if you go work for a company and you don't have a book to say, hey, here's what I've done, here's my experience, it's all included in this book that I took time to write it. Let me tell you, if you do that, you're going to be successful. Not only while you were in college, but college, of course, you got a diploma and you don't have time to write a book, but especially after college when you have to do your own schooling, and that is your own schooling. So keep that in mind that those who are graduating, you're not done. You've just gone from formal schooling to own schooling, And the diploma that you're going to give yourself is the book that you're going to write. And you got to start thinking about it right now. Because you say, oh, 4 years, I'll work on it one day. No, you got to start working on it right now. Write every day. And then you can combine it. Once you have written something, then it's much easier to put it all together in a book form. But you can't just take a year off and say, okay, I'm going to write a book. Unless you've got resources and time, then you can do it. But you can start doing it on weekends. Write a couple of thousand words, and believe it, after a while, you'll have a lot of material. And a lot of this material is coming from what you're doing. So let's say if you're in computer science, you're going to write about coding. Here are the best practices. Here's what I learned. Here's my experience working on this project. Here's what happened. There's so much you can do. And you're not going to get all of it. You're not going to include all of it. But eventually you'll start getting an idea, a theme around what you want your book to contain. Like here I want to write about testing. Here's what I want to write about project management. Here's what I write about maybe DevOps or whatever. You get the idea. So the question is, you got to start thinking about it. Right after you graduate, that 4 year, you have to show something after the 4 years. And if you have nothing to show for it, you're going to plateau very quickly. And your career is going to pretty much go nowhere. So what about for people who are already out of college for many years, like myself? Well, it's never too late to start. You are responsible for your own schooling. And at the end of your 4 years of own schooling, you got to produce a diploma. What is that diploma going to look like? Well, write a book. Sounds simple, and it is simple if you do it every day and make that a goal. Like after 4 years, what I'm doing, it's going to turn into a book. And then you got yourself a diploma. And you can say that I own my schooling. All right, so if you have any questions, comments, let me know. And as always, thank you for watching and good luck.